long E has a vowel. Okay. We will call to order the regular city council meeting. Can we please begin with roll call?
Councilmember Shemmers. Detterman.
Here.
Seeley.
I know.
Davis.
Here.
Oberon.
Here.
Wasn't even
Mussman.
here.
Kearns.
Here.
Councilmember Detterman.
Thank you, Your Honor. Approve the minutes of the budget meeting of January 30th, 2025, and they be approved as published on February 11th, 2025. Budget meeting of February 6th, 2025, and they be approved as published on February 20th of 2025. And the regular city council and committee of the whole meetings of February 11th, 2025, and they be approved as published on February 25th of 2025. Second. As presented.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the minutes presented here?
It's a lot of discussion.
I'd just like to comment on both Krista and Lisa, because if you guys didn't look in the paper today, it's 3 pages of minutes. And that was cow and council stuff. So this was, minutes are ironic because it takes you a lot longer to do minutes than
Oh,
just
yeah.
a minute. So
Right, Rhonda?
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's still a budget meeting to go, right? One more minutes from the 13th?
Oh, yes. I thought there was another, no.
No, not in here, but,
Yes, for the budget.
all right. Can we have roll call, please?
Councilmember Shemmers. Detterman.
Here. Yes. Yes. Wait a
Seeley.
minute.
Yes.
Wait a
Davis.
minute, not here again.
Yes.
Oberon.
Yes.
Mussman.
Yes.
Kearns.
Yes.
All right, moving to public hearings. We'll convene a public hearing concerning the proposal to convey real property to Super 8 Logistics LLC. Have we heard anything in the clerk's office?
No, we have not, Your Honor.
Is there any citizens that are in the room or online that would like to address this public hearing? Doesn't look like anyone's online. Any council members that would like to address the public hearing? Hearing none, we will close the public hearing. Councilmember Mussman.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have a resolution approving and authorizing the conveyance of certain real property to Super 8 Logistics LLC and approving and authorizing execution of a related real estate purchase agreement. I move that this be adopted as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right. I don't know. Couldn't tell you. All right, any discussion on this item? All right, can we have roll call, please?
Councilmember Shemmers. Yes. Detterman.
Yes.
Seeley.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Oberon.
Yes.
Mussman.
Yes.
Kearns.
Yes.
We'll convene a public hearing concerning the authorization of a loan and disbursement agreement and the issuance of not to exceed $2,500,000 general obligation capital loan notes. Have we heard anything in the clerk's office?
No, we have not, Your Honor.
Is there any citizens that are in the room or online that would like to address this public hearing? Any council members that would like to address the public hearing? Hearing none, we will close the public hearing. Councilmember Kearns.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have a resolution instituting proceedings to take additional action for the authorization of a loan and disbursement agreement and issuance of not to exceed $2.5 million general obligation capital loan notes. I move it be adopted as read.
Second. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion on this. Is this going to be sold like our other bonds, or is this a loan through IFA? Okay, that's what I thought. All right. Okay, just making sure that I was clear on that. All right. Any other discussion on this? Can we have roll call, please?
Councilmember Shemmers.
Yes.
Detterman.
Yes.
Seeley.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Oberon.
Yes.
Mussman.
Yes.
Kearns.
Yes.
No yellow cards for audience comment. I don't see any public here, none online, so we will move on to consent agenda. Councilmember Davis.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda as on the attachment.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the consent agenda? Councilmember Oberon.
I'd like to pull item 5H.
Okay. 5H.
That's what I was going to pull, so we're good.
All right.
We're on the same page on that one.
Any- Anything else from the consent agenda?
I was thinking about pulling it. I was.
Nothing else? Could we have roll call on the balance of the consent agenda, please?
Councilmember Summers.
Yes.
Detterman.
Yes.
Seeley.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Oberon.
Yes.
Mussman.
Yes.
Kearns.
Yes.
Councilmember Seeley.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll make a motion, we receive, approve, and place on file claims listings 1, 2, and 3.
Second that.
We have a motion and a second for claims 1, 2, 3. Is there any discussion on the claims? All right, can we have roll call, please?
Councilmember Summers.
Yes.
Detterman.
Yes.
Seeley.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Oberon.
Yes.
Mussman.
Yes.
Kearns.
Yes.
Councilmember Kearns.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have a motion to approve the mayor's recommendation to the Home Rule Charter Review Commission. I move it be adopted as read.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on this?
Would you like me to read it?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Home Rule Charter, we have 9 appointments. Bill Mashevitz, John Eiseman, Joseph Hoinkes, Sean Connell, Matthew Brish, Ryan Veenstra, Rich Phelan, Dave Vickers, and Aaron George, all on a 1-year term for expiration of 2/25/26. And we have 2 alternates, Don Hanson and Kenyon Clark.
Thank you. Any discussion on this? Can we have roll call, please?
Councilmember Summers.
Yes.
Detterman.
Yes.
Seeley.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Oberon.
Yes.
Mussman.
Yes.
Kearns.
Yes.
Councilmember Oberon.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have a resolution appointing Taylor KLEPPE as the RWRF Director for the City of Clinton, Iowa. I move this resolution be adopted as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on this?
Tell us. Do you want to share with
Yeah.
all the quizzing I did today?
Yeah.
Okay.
There was only 9 questions, but no, it's good. So basically, we put this out in mid-January to end of January. We had it on our website, had about 120 views. We had it on LinkedIn, had about 400 views, and had on Indeed, a lot more views. We had about, I think, a total of 17 applicants-ish. We whittled those down. The issue, as I was talking to Councilmember Seeley, is in Iowa, it takes a grade 4 to not only sign off on paperwork, but then to run the plant. And so we didn't have a lot of those folks that had grade 4s. We had one, and his name was Taylor KLEPPE. And the great thing is, Taylor comes from ADM, where he spent years cutting his teeth on an operator. Then he spent time in West Des Moines, which is one of the bigger plants in the Midwest. He came to us, as you guys know, jumped in feet first. Bob hired him as a number 2. Bob passed in July. He basically was thrown into covering both the number 1 and number 2 position. I could say something there for a commercial on TV, but I won't. And but he's been doing a heck of a job. He's admired by the staff there. He works well with our department heads. He did really well in the interview with a small group of department heads with him. And I think he will be a great addition for maybe the next 20 to 30 years for this. Not only was he in charge of running the plant, but also, the ADM expansion, which has taken a lot of his time as well. So he has a lot of good ideas. He's stepped forward both on working with future developers as well as working with ADM on projects, as well as understanding what is our capacity, what can we do in addition when we start talking to other developers to really make the, RRWF one of the best truly in the Midwest. Stand-up individual, just a very calm and cool, which is very appreciative in that business. And I think some of the ideas he has too, as I talked to Councilmember Seeley, is to really move from more of a calling for somebody to come and fix stuff to have more maintainers on hand that actually know the systems and can fix them right then and there and make them even stronger and better. So he's diving in. Budget was kind of fun. That was for him, his first time doing that. So that's some things that we're going to continue working with him on, because he will have the largest budget of everybody, every department head in there. So I think we're blessed to have Taylor with us, and I would like, we'll welcome officially. He'll be gone March 11th. He's actually on vacation, well deserved, but we'll probably bring him back March 25th if you guys give a thumbs up and all that. And I talked to the mayor for a bit too, and we're going to basically just have a standard operating procedure when we bring this to you, is not have the starting date until 14 days after this meeting here, where you guys can approve it. Then we can then bring them on board and just plan that out accordingly. So
Councilmember Oberon?
I had the opportunity to sit in on the interview, and I ditto everything that Matt said. The biggest thing that impressed me about him was just his demeanor in answering questions he thought about. He just didn't blurt things out, and just his knowledge of what is going on is, second to none right now, so.
Yeah, the level 4 seems like it's a pretty tough test to take, so he got that knocked out pretty quick, didn't he? Yeah.
Who was the interview committee?
Oh, we had Brian Lemke, we had Jason Kraft, we had Janine, we had myself, we had Lisa, and we had Greg Oprin. Oh,
Cool. All right.
Good. Good. Well, yeah, I was satisfied with Matt and I's discussion on everything. Initially, I was kind of shocked that we didn't get more applicants for a facility like this, but after Matt and I talked, I think I have a better understanding of wastewater
Janine actually called, Janine actually called several folks too, because to try to encourage them. We had one gentleman up in Wisconsin who was, in this business, but he wasn't interested in going to get certificates.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so.
Councilmember Shemmers, you had something?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, in the stuff at the landfill, Taylor has to do a lot of work with me, and we're getting ready for our budget out there tomorrow, because I love budgets, and, he's been outstanding to work with. Calm, cool, collected, everything you said, and, every time I have a question, which I need for out there for their budget, he's on it. He gets it to me before I finish the email, so he's been really good, so.
Janine?
I just didn't know if you guys had any additional questions about the process, but yes, to answer your question, so we knew that this was kind of coming down the pipeline. We weren't sure if our target date to get this started was gonna start in April of this year, or if we were going to wait until everything kind of went online. It became very apparent that we needed to move faster than we were originally anticipating, just because the scale at which this was kind of taking over, as well as the support that was needed down there, was just like, hey, we got to move quickly and we need to do this well and precise. So I think I started back in December. I think I told Matt. I was checking out Indeed and LinkedIn and all of those places just to learn about the wastewater plant. From there, I had way too many conversations with the DNR, kind of getting their list on who's a number 4, what does it take to be a number 4, and from there, I was emailing, calling people, sending them messages, pretty much everything legally short of showing up at their houses, just to let them know, like, hey, we have this position available, would absolutely love for you guys to apply. There were a couple people who it didn't end up working out with. There was a gentleman who had applied, and then he told his company he was leaving, and they made it worth his while to stay. So kind of as Matt was talking about, it's one of those situations that we are so blessed to have Taylor, who just bought a house here in town, is excited to stay, actually moved from a very comparable place out in Des Moines to be in Clinton to, again, continue to build us up. And obviously the hope, if you guys get to talk to Taylor, is to, Clinton is going to be known for our wastewater treatment plant, because it's that big. So just being able to lay that groundwork for him and support him in HR capacity has been really awesome, so.
Awesome.
Yeah, and we made
Thank
we made a determination early, because one of the shortfalls is he didn't have a number 2 because he was the number 2. So Janine and I discussed this, and we said we need to hire and get a number 1 first. And so now they're turning right around to try to get a number 2 hired. And the good news is we had a lot more applications for number 2 than we did when Taylor interviewed last year. So we're hopeful, some strong folks that are in there that will really help kind of learn about pumping, pipes, the other things, and then give a little bit of breathing room for Taylor as he, moves into the number 1 role.
Cool. Perfect. All right. Any other discussion on this resolution?
Well, congratulations, Taylor.
We haven't voted yet.
Seems pretty promising.
Can we have roll call, please?
Councilmember Shemmers. Detterman.
Yes.
Seeley.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Oberon.
Yes.
Mussman.
Yes.
Kearns.
Yes.
Now go ahead, Councilmember Seeley.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have a resolution rescinding resolution number 2025-086, authorizing the commencement of work by HDR Engineering Incorporated on the Clinton RWRF Renewable Gas Project. I move this be adopted as read.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion on this. Go ahead,
So,
sir.
thank you, Your Honor. So we're canceling this, rescinding this to then have the next one brought forward with you for that. So I'll discuss that more in detail as we get to the next one, so.
Any other discussion on this one? All right, can we have roll call, please?
Councilmember Summers.
Yes.
Detterman.
Yes.
Seeley.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Oberon.
Yes.
Mussman.
Yes.
Kearns.
Yes.
Oh, where am I at? Councilmember nope, sorry, Councilmember Davis.
Thank you, Honor. I have a resolution of official endorsement for a SRF planning and design loan application for the design of the City of Clinton's Regional Water Reclamation Facility, RWRF, biogas project, and authorizing commencement of work by HDR Engineering, Inc. I move that it be adopted as presented.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Everybody is tracking why we had to rescind the previous resolution? Yes? Okay.
So, and we added in, I worked with Anita there for adding in the SRF loan, that's the 1.884 million. This piece here, if we move forward with the biogas piece, will get rolled up into that SRF loan. That's a 0% interest right now during the design and planning of the biogas. If it doesn't, say for some reason we don't move forward with that, then this would actually get, we would update our rates to cover this on the industrial side. That make sense? So that we don't have any of our residents paying for this. With this, though, we would have HDR then do the planning and design, which is the next phase to understand if we do a biogas plant, what's that estimated cost? And then Anita and I were looking if we can, because you guys have a lot of stuff Thursday. So we're going to put it on your agenda for Finance Committee, but if we don't get it, it's okay. But we want to bring some updates to you, and it's really going to be a discussion of in-the-weed numbers. So you guys, the Finance Committee can kind of gnaw on it first, if we can get to it, because like I said, you guys have a big agenda. But I think it's going to be important that we go through that, and then eventually I will talk to all the council members with that same chart to show you. But at the end of the day, we still want to work with ADM, working with our other attorneys at Allers. This has to be built into rates. So when we start talking about the next step of this, of once we get what it costs to do this and to do a new SRF for this, it would have to make sure that we had the rates that were there to pay the SRF loan and also the operations and maintenance of 1.5 million, at least a floor of that. Does that make sense to everybody? So this would be Dave Haugen that would be jumping in on this. He's already started working. That Project Circle is going to be included, but we're not going to call it Project Circle. He's going to include into this planning design, what would it take to bring this type of wastewater from the rail park and move it to the RWF as well? Because right now, the only place this comes from is ADM. But we could have we have been talking to a couple different developers that might have that type of wastewater that could be used to go into that side for biogas. It's a different makeup of a consistency of pH and also the oxygen content in that. I'm learning too much about it.
So has anybody signed on for this yet, aside, ADM has?
Yeah, ADM has, but we have not done a contract with them.
Okay.
And Anita and I are talking about the best way, and we think getting to you, the Finance Committee, and the details of the numbers, and then seeing that has to be based on rates, and then we can move to the discussion with ADM on what happens on the backside with the revenue. Who works the renewable natural gas, and who works these things called RINs, renewable identification numbers, that come from like the federal government? Who does that? Do we want to take that on, or do we want to partner with either ADM or someone else for that? Because that's where the revenue backside is that happens. Because we will be in a very good position to do this based on rates, making sure we're covering our costs and making sure that, because really what it comes down to for you guys when you wake up tomorrow morning, do we really want to have a methane flare for the next 20 years? And I think we should at least pursue this to figure out what does it cost to do it, see where ADM's on that same stance as well. And if we have other industrial waste that could actually fit in this, we should at least look at it, because I don't think we'll ever do this if we don't do it right now. Because we'll get used to having a flame burning and be like, okay, that's how it is. And so,
The numbers that you said the Finance Committee is going to look at.
Yep.
What are those exactly? Should that be looked at before this resolution is approved?
No.
Or I guess I'm just not clear on
no,
what you're.
so we need this to get so we're going to have them look at the numbers that we're anticipating the loan not to exceed like $25 million. So we're going to use that base. But this, we need to be able to do the planning and designing to see what is that actual cost. But I think the numbers we can look with the Finance Committee based on, we're just saying no more than $25 million for an SRF loan. And that's for the equipment for the biogas portion that gets plugged onto the digesters. And then in that, there's that federal tax credit thing that's out there that, you know, no one can, it's the question that Anita and I had today is, can anybody confirm this with everything that's going on at the federal government? Because that's the make or break, I think, for the city and ADM. Because without it, we want to be able to take some of that and lower that SRF note down.
Your ROI changes big time.
Completely changes,
Yeah.
yes. And where ADM was at, they wanted between 50 and 75% of that, whatever that federal tax was, applied to the SRF note. So let's say, for example, it was $25 million. Well, you need at least $12,500,000 applied to it at 50% before they would actually be able to move the needle, even with the back-end revenue of the renewable natural gas and also the RIN stuff. But like I said, if we don't move forward, this 1.884 gets rolled into the rates, the industrial side rates to pay for it.
When will the, when is the construction at the plant actually done and we're
Yep.
getting ADM's flow?
So we'll actually, longer answer than you want, but it'll be, we're shooting for October, November to be done, but they're gonna start getting flow this summer. And it'll be a slow process as they build the flow. They add what they need into the digesters. We talked about the sludge and everything, that gets added in. So that flow starts and then they'll ramp it up each month. And that flow is like at 280, per unit, 48 gallons. That'll slow, but slowly ramp up.
$2.80.
$2.80, yeah, per unit. What did I say?
No, you said 280. I was just making sure I was following what you're
Yeah.
saying.
Well, it's 8.1 million
You're
gallons.
talking about a whole lot of wastewater stuff. I didn't
It
know if
is.
280 was an acronym
Oh, sorry.
or
Yeah.
whatever.
So,
Not an
yes,
acronym,
You
but-
said you are getting flow starting the summer
Yeah,
before it's even
but-
complete.
yeah, because they have to start slowly to start moving it and then start checking things out, because there's a whole big checklist that Taylor has from B&K. It's basically, just think of it as an execution checklist. Everything has to be checked off as they go, and you do that by slowly ramping up the volume of water that you bring for that. And then the intent is, if all goes well, there's two sides of this. Some believe with hope that it could be October, some think it might be later on, and then if you wait too long, do you have to wait till spring? Because, it's wintertime and bugs are strange, so. If all goes well, the plan right now today is that October, November timeframe, they're at 100% flow.
Okay.
So then, that means a flare begins to burn in October, November. And if we do this, we're probably, every day we wait on this, which is okay, that's a day longer than, we're probably at least 12 to 14 months away from getting biogas connected to where the flame isn't burning daily. It randomly would burn. We don't want it to burn too much, but it would go, that would then all be piped into the biogas.
So this is designing the
Design.
Biogas facility.
process, the facility and the process. What happens if ADM's waste isn't dirty enough, so to speak, to produce enough?
I don't
You
think.
know what I
that-
mean?
Yeah.
Like, do
Yeah.
we know that for sure? Like, it's,
Do you really want me to say publicly they have really dirty waste?
well, I mean,
I know what you mean.
I don't know what's the wastewater?
No, the
word?
consistency of what they're
Consistency.
sending us is apt for making this go into biogas.
Okay.
Yes, and it's a combination of what they send us along with that sludge mixing together, the bugs.
So that portion of it's not a coin flip. We know that
Yes.
their waste is,
Yes.
okay.
That's why it's completely separate and comes in on a separate, I kind of
Okay.
treat it as, my analogy is the heart. You have many valves. You have the residential side that sends the waste in or the blood in. On the other side, you have the industrial, and we have to keep them separate completely, because there is a portion of there in that heart that will be bled off, if you will, that doesn't go to the methane production and go to the biogas that will actually go to the residential side, but it's a very small portion. But you have to keep it separate because of the consistency of the wastewater.
So without the biogas, we have the flame.
Yes, ma'am.
But ADM hasn't technically signed up for this just yet. And
Well,
we-
no, they signed up because they're sending us 8.1 million gallons.
Well, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
And- Yeah, and so what we don't know is the looming piece that we really need to understand is, does that federal tax credit exist? Because we have met the criteria, because you had to have been building the digesters last year, which we were.
Yep.
And we don't know very many other communities actually have met that criteria. So if we don't build the bio facility, then you don't get $20+ million in the federal tax credit that you could apply towards
Yep.
this SRF. But you're right, as the mayor said, that tax credit is what makes the ROI work, the return on investment. It doesn't work, could you do it? And ADM they haven't said no completely, but they would still be interested because there's green things on their backside that they could benefit from sending their waste and making sure this turns back into natural gas.
Did you look at what Dubuque does?
Actually, what Dave did, he looked at several different, Omaha, West Des Moines. I'm not sure if he looked at Dubuque particularly, but
Dubuque actually uses it in
to heat, for
to
electric.
heat, to create their own
Yeah.
power to run their own facility, right? So that's kind of
I think
interesting.
it's 360 houses it could power to, or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I saw that in there. I think
Which-
they contract it out, though.
Gotcha. Well, in this
Yeah.
case, it's very nice because where Alliance Gas Pipeline is right next to the plant.
True.
So when this gets produced, it'll have a direct line in, and then we will pay Alliant to transport it. But
Yeah.
then on that point, though, that's the discussion we need with ADM, then who's selling it?
How about these newer facilities? What did you do for recon on that? Like, Des Moines has one, I think Cedar Rapids.
Yep. So
Um,
I'm not quite sure on Dave, but I'll give him, I didn't do anything myself, but I know Bob and Dave actually went to several.
So I spent about
Yeah.
an hour trying to go through Des Moines because they've got all their documents online. I was trying to
luck.
decipher. Yeah, I couldn't get a clear picture from their budget what that was generating in particular for revenue.
So,
I did find a lot of discussions on the extreme volatility of this market because of the fluctuation in pricing and the heavy reliance on tax credits. I think it's a good idea. My main concern, and I know you don't want to hear this.
That's
but,
all right.
I'm a little nervous about doing this before the plant's done and before we know what ADM's flow actually is.
So
and
ADM
all
will pay
that.
us for $8 million gallons per.
Oh, I know, but we gotta have the flow to do this, because we need that nasty waste.
Understand,
Yeah.
and we'll
Yeah.
have several,
Consistency.
yeah.
We
consistency.
need that consistency.
Well, and I think two things to follow up on that. So one is, if you look at biogas plants, the reason we need to do this study too is ADM thinks it might be closer, because they're doing one in Decatur right now.
Okay.
So what he will do in this plan design is compare that one to what we're looking at doing, see what's the latest and greatest that's out there, technology. So that's where we first be able to come together and figure out what that cost will be. The second is, if you look around, and maybe I could ask Dave to find this, because he did the initials for this. We used Omaha, Nebraska, and what they did was they locked in a 10-year rate. That 10-year rate ensured it paid for their operations and maintenance.
Like with Alliant or the.
Yes,
whoever
the
you
rest
split,
of it,
yeah.
they let it go like this in the market, because that was like the house money, because this 10-year rate made sure all the bills were paid.
Yep.
This, they let it ride, and it does. You don't want to watch it, because it goes
Yeah,
here, it goes
yeah.
here, it goes here.
Yep.
But with that 10-year base plan, they had everything paid for.
Yeah. Now, who's building it in Decatur? Is it the city or
No, it's ADM.
ADM's building one?
Yeah.
What are they spending in Decatur?
Well, right now, we think it's between 21 and 22 million.
Okay, so
Yep.
they're building one right now.
Yep, and they're doing kind of apples and oranges comparison to see, is this what's
So
gonna.
what do we need this study for? Sounds like we just take those plans and what are we spending the 1.8
Well,
on?
so remember it's just like, good point, but this is like the Union Pacific. What this does, it builds to a 30, 60, 90% plan that you have to have as you move forward to go to the SRF. loan
Did
fund.
you price compare? I mean, 1.8 million for a study or plan seems like an awful
Yeah.
lot of money. Did you look into that?
No,
at
I did
all?
not, but
Okay.
but it's been basically sole source because we've had him at risk right now,
Yeah.
working for us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and his company gets a little weary when they're at risk, meaning not having a contract. So he's done a lot of work to get us to where we are today, so.
Cool.
Any other discussion?
Well, just so just so you're not
Yep.
misconstrued, I do like this project. I'm a little leery about going at it right now.
No, I'm
So,
with you.
Yeah.
But I feel a little bit, it's like we're changing the tires and the engine on the car in the middle of while we're driving it. Because,
Can I ask one more question?
Yes.
When is ADM's facility in you said Decatur?
yep,
When is that one? How far along is that one?
I do not know, I'll find out, I do not
And
know.
they're building this biogas. They're not building the
Yeah,
tie
we
into the
literally
wastewater,
should
they're
ask them
building
for
the
their
biogas.
plans.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a pipe, right? Taylor probably knows a little bit from
Yeah.
Des Moines.
Yep.
Cause that's.
Well,
where-
there's, well, basically what there's in there is it's a scrubbing process. So as much as I can try to explain scrubbing gas,
Yeah, I
which I
don't know
can't,
how it
but it
works.
goes, it works, the gas gets pushed through different chambers, it gets scrubbed clean, there's things that are pulled off, like, if you think about it, because typically when you get your gas at home, the reason it smells like eggs is to make sure you run out of your house.
Yep.
Right.
It doesn't smell like that normally.
Yep.
So that sulfur content being pulled out is just part of the process. And there's a couple NaCls and stuff, there's a couple things that are stripped from that then make that ready for gas, then it
Yep.
gets sent in the pipeline, so it
Yep.
can mix. And every step of the way, it's tested. Because it can't be just shot into the pipeline if it's, brown or not good gas, so.
And the reason for my question
Yep.
is not because I want this project to die.
Yep.
I don't want it to die. I just want to know, is there a safe zone to postpone it to get a little further to where,
Yeah, and how
we
can
can-
we be more sure about the tax credits? I apologize.
no, that's,
Yeah.
I just want to know if they're
Yeah.
way ahead of
Yeah.
us, if it's worth waiting until
Well,
they get to a certain point and then tackle
And there are,
this.
but there's also other places that have successfully completed theirs and they're running it, and they're seeing similar wastewater that's being sent to them from the industrial side, for that. I think the hard part is at this point in time is, taking the leap here, but like I'm saying is, we're gonna protect those millions by rates if we have to cover it. Rates from the industrial side, which is also ADM, and they understand that. Because we just can't, as a city, 1.884
No, we can't
million.
absorb that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Let's pass that on.
And I really think, though, as we move forward to do this is, as painful as this might seem to do this is, I just think trying to get this done is a lot better than just burning that off into the atmosphere. So getting back to your question, we had Allers actually go, I had them, she wrote up a item on the federal tax credit. And of course, they as attorneys, as Pat would tell you, they can't promise that. But everything is still in place where it exists. It's still there. We meet all the criteria. There's some paperwork that I probably need to get with Anita to start filling out to make sure but you can't get that until you're completed with your project. So what I've asked the Grassley and other crew to do is, can you at least get us something that says if we take the next steps, once we get the planning design piece, that this is there for us once we complete the biogas and it's running, because you have to be substantially completed in order to get the dollars.
And this is 30% design? Or this is full?
I think he's gonna start the process, get to 30, but then he'll be moving closer to 60 by the time he's done with this
On this
price.
budget?
Yeah. I will ask him, I don't know. Actually, with this budget, she get us to 90%.
I
I'll
would
tell him
think
that.
100.
Okay, 100%. Tell him 100%.
I mean, are there other companies that design these facilities? I mean, I know you're already working
Yeah.
with them, but is this a fair price for this?
Yeah, well, we spent close to, probably $6.2 million on this for the expansion.
On the design?
No, well, in total for contracting fees, designs, and everything else. It's expensive.
Of the 130 or 120?
Of the 130 million, yeah. And we can monitor this. We can have itemized pieces and parts, what's costing.
One more question. How much will the rates have to increase on the industrial side? Do we know that to pay this if it doesn't come to fruition?
Well, no, but today when we did those loans, at 25 million, it was how many cents?
And,
80, oh,
oh,
yep,
she's
yep.
like,
So we ran some scenarios of how much applying the federal tax credit to and what that per cents would be. Yeah, 89 cents is 25 million
89 cents a unit?
for 748 gallons.
Okay. Is
Yeah.
that a unit?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Don't know.
And that's only industrial side.
This industrial side, everything. What would that, in your quick calculator there, what would that be at 1.884 using that same number for a denominator? For 1.884 or 1.884?
$1,884,000
Yep.
or 0.05% with a payment of $139,242. Let me take the other things out.
4 cents. Yeah, so right now it's $3.45, so it would go to $3.49 on the industrial side.
It's not terrible.
That's for the largest.
Yes, that's just for ADM.
The person the company that's spending the largest amount. We have nobody else that compares to what AEM.
Yeah.
No. No. But they understand this because they also are, as we've been discussing this, on board to cover the SRF loan and cover the O&M.
Okay. Make a motion.
That 4 cents is just the principal and interest.
We already have a
Yes,
motion.
on the SRF.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll make a second.
For the 1.84.
Sir. Okay. Other questions or discussions on this topic?
I'm grabbing Councilmember Seeley to go down to the.
You're gonna have to.
All right, last chance. Hearing none, can we have roll call, please?
Councilmember Shemmers.
Yes.
Detterman.
Yes.
Seeley.
This is not because I don't support it, no.
Davis.
Yes.
Oberon.
Yes.
Mussman.
Yes.
Kearns.
No.
That took
All
a
right.
while.
Councilmember Mussman.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have a resolution authorizing Springdale Cemetery Assistance Agreement. Move that it be adopted as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second discussion on this.
So we updated this to 3 years and 4 months, so we ended on July 1st, as you guys saw there. I think this is a good contract. Mike is doing a good job. We know that every spring, when the monsoons come, he'll be ready to go. But I took another look, and for some reason, I can't get in my folder. But when he gave me a new updated budget, which I could get if you need me, but when I ran our numbers in there and put a sextant and everything else, we were, instead of the 48,000 that we're providing for, we're probably in the $120,000 range over that, if we did it ourselves. So I took his updated numbers, put them in as if we were gonna make those dollars, and we can't compete with this amount.
Perfect.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Oh, just go ahead.
Just a quick note, when we were talking about cemetery budgets, we're looking at this, the reason why all this is built in with the dates that it's built in, so it falls in with our budget cycle, so that, we're looking, when we say January 15th each year submit stuff, it's so that, hey, that's when we submit stuff internally, and it's just gonna be part of our process going through, and I didn't know if Mike realized that's
Yeah.
what that numbers was, so.
Yep, so we have down here in paragraph 6, just like Councilmember Wood said, Mike's done a great job. No later than January 15th, we'll get the numbers in so we can look at that, what the request is. And then he also will go back and say, hey, we had a really good year in this area, wasn't so good in this area, things adjusted for that, so, yep.
Perfect.
Okay.
Mike, did you have any comments? I don't. No? Okay, I just didn't want to leave you out since you were here. All right, there you go. Sounds good. Okay. Any other discussion from council? Can we have roll call, please?
Councilmember Shemmers. Detterman.
Yes.
Seeley.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Oberon.
Yes.
Mussman.
Yes.
Kearns.
Yes.
Councilmember Oberon.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have a resolution approving submission for additional funding from ECIA Brownfields Revolving Loan and Grant Fund application for Phase 1A and Phase 1B of the EPA Brownsfield Revolving Loan Fund cleanup activities at 408 South First Street, the former YMCA. Move this resolution be adopted as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second discussion on this. So this is 250
Right?
or 400? 400.
Applying for 400 BRL.
50%.
With a 50%
forgiveness.
yep.
Yeah.
Yep, okay. Any other discussion? Can we have roll call, please?
Councilmember Shemmers.
Yes.
Detterman.
Yes.
Seeley.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Oberon.
Yes.
Mussman.
Yes.
Kearns.
Yes.
Councilmember Shemmers?
Your Honor, I have a resolution approving submission for additional funding from ECIA Brownfields Revolving Loan and Grant Fund application for Phase 2 of the EPA Brownfields Revolving Loan Fund cleanup activities at 480 South 3rd Street, former YMCA. I move the resolution be adopted as read.
Second.
We have a motion and a second discussion on this one.
And this one's the 1.1 million revolving loan fund that would be 50%, or excuse me, 500,000 would be funded back to us. But we are going for a $1,100,000 EPA loan. So this is a backup to our plan.
Okay.
So that would be,
And this is the west side of the two swimming pools and the basketball court area.
so that's 600
You know,
if we don't get that other grant.
Yes.
I'll be curious to see what the state does with some of this legislation, because this is a problem,
Yeah.
you know, everywhere.
And the good news is, though, I don't know if you saw that, they vice scripted, it was for smaller communities, but they put 5,000 to 30,000.
Good.
Which got us in there.
Yep.
I think Tammy was saying, though, for the schools, I think it might have been like 5,000 or less,
Yeah.
which,
Well, you drive
this would help.
around rural Iowa, you'll see a lot of vacant.
I think we made the comment is, we
We have a couple.
Iowa became a state like in 1847, don't quote me, but somebody will. But it's been a long time, and there's a lot of old buildings, and they get, they get run down and everything else, so it's kind of nice that they're throwing that into the ring there, so.
And we'll find out in May about the EPA grant. That's about late April, early May. And we've already applied, right? Yep. Okay, rock on.
Perfect.
All right. Any other discussion? Can we have roll call, please?
Councilmember Summers.
Yes.
Detterman.
Yes.
Seeley.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Oberon.
Yes.
Mussman.
Yes.
Kearns.
Yes.
Councilmember Seeley.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have a resolution declining the award of 3 electric buses funded by the Iowa Department of Transportation Prizes Project and adding 3 replacement buses back onto the public transit management system list. I move this be adopted as read.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Can we have roll call, please?
Councilmember Summers.
Yes.
Detterman.
Yes.
Seeley.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Oberon.
Yes.
Mussman.
Yes.
Kearns.
Yes.
Councilmember Davis.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have a resolution setting public hearing regarding proposed capital improvement plan for FYE 2026 for the city of Clinton, Iowa. I move that it be adopted as presented.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Before I jump in there I just want to clarify my statement. December 28th, 1846, the state of Iowa became a state.
18 for you. Close. You're close.
Fact check.
Good thing you fact checked yourself.
Good thing President James Polk signed that in.
Discussion on the resolution to set public hearing for the capital improvement plan.
Just want to reiterate to you guys, this is awesome. You got it down to 10 million, and you also found a way to fund through 488 all these other projects that were on there. And so the only things we didn't really hit were the talking destination signs and then the second end loader. So we were able to accomplish what we needed to and lower that down. So good job.
And the playground got moved down.
Yeah, I just,
Yep.
yeah,
Okay.
I put them here as
Yep.
other funding, but then I also put it down here so Anita would have the total for the 488
Cool.
fund.
All right. Any other discussion on this?
Brian said he was gonna get some boots to raise money or something.
There you go. All right. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Summers. Detterman.
Yes.
Seeley.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Oberon.
Yes.
Mussman.
Yes.
Kearns.
Yes.
Councilmember Mussman.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have a resolution fixing a date for a meeting on the authorization of a loan agreement and the issuance of not to exceed $9,630,000 general obligation capital loan notes of the city of Clinton, Iowa, state of Iowa for essential corporate purposes and providing for publication of notice thereof. I move that it be adopted as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion on this? Can we have roll call, please?
Councilmember Summers. Detterman.
Yes.
Seeley.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Oberon.
Yes.
Mussman.
Yes.
Kearns.
Yes.
Councilmember Detterman.
Thank you, Your Honor. A resolution fixing date for a meeting on the authorization of a loan agreement and the issuance of a not to exceed $920,000 general obligation capital loan notes of the city of Clinton, state of Iowa for general corporate purposes and providing for publication of notice thereof. Move that it be adopted as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Can we have roll call, please?
Councilmember Shemmers.
Yes.
Detterman,
Yes.
Seeley,
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Oberon.
Yes.
Mussman,
Yes.
Kearns.
Yes.
Councilmember Shemmers,
Thank you, Your Honor. I have an ordinance for the third consideration and adoption.
please read the title.
An ordinance amending City Code Chapters 32.121, City Organizations, Commissions and Committees, 53.10, Stormwater Detention Regulations, 115.05, Massage Therapy Business Permits, 159.021, PUD Planned Unit Development Overlay District, 159.027, SP Special Purpose Commercial and Historical Overlay Districts, 159.046 Supplemental Regulations, 159.052 Amendments, 159.054 Zoning Permits and Inspections to update references to community development.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on this? Can we have roll call, please?
Councilmember Shemmers.
Yes.
Detterman,
Yes.
Seeley.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Oberon.
Yes.
Mussman.
Yes.
Kearns.
Yes.
Councilmember Oberon, 5H.
5H, so if you look on the resolution, the third whereas is that the Historic Preservation Commission approved the 2024 annual report at the December 9th, 2024 commission meeting. That commission meeting technically did not have a quorum.
Okay.
So what we need to do is change that date. Ron, do you remember when the next meeting date is? I
The
didn't-
next meeting is going to be March 10th,
Okay, so,
and it will be updated
So
or
we-
approved then.
yeah.
So we can't approve this.
can
We
we,
can, based on it being approved there,
I think
don't
we,
think so?
I think we probably should postpone it till the commission approves it first. I don't, because if we approve it conditional on them and then they don't, it's kind of weird. So I don't think it hurts us to postpone
I
it.
don't know.
When's it due?
I thought it was due March 1st. but don't-
Well, Allison Archambault has already been notified, and she has told Cindy that as long as we include a note explaining, she said it happens all the time.
Oh,
As long as we
okay.
include a note explaining that it didn't yet get approved on time, that they won't have a problem with it, so.
still approve this then?
I would
don't think
submit that based on that information, I would like to table this item to date
March 11th.
certain.
Well, we're going to postpone until a date
Uh,
certain.
Till March
Postpone
11th?
it.
It'd be the
March
11th
11th.
if we have a quorum. We have 2 vacancies, but we're going to be looking at that Friday.
Correct. They don't have a quorum on the committee at all right now. Yeah, they should.
They do.
There's 5.
No, they do.
It's just someone doesn't show up. Okay.
So do we, would the right thing be to postpone it to date certain?
I would postpone
Or
it till March 11th.
postpone it till,
Can,
I'd postpone this item till March 11th, and if the committee doesn't meet and approve it, then we'll postpone it again.
okay. So
Right.
that would be.
I think it's important that they approve it
They
before.
approve it first.
Because they're recommending to council technically that
Yes.
this is ready to go and everything's good. If we need to send a note to the State Historic Preservation, we can do that. I can sign something and send it to them and just kind of explain that it didn't get approved.
It's just the
and
timing didn't get approved,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Does that
So
sound fine?
that would be my motion. Let's move, yeah.
Okay, so we have a motion to postpone this until March 11th. Any discussion on that? All right, can we have roll call, please?
Councilmember Shemmers.
Yes.
Detterman,
Yes.
Seeley.
yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Oberon.
Yes.
Mussman.
Yes.
Kearns.
Yes.
All right, Councilmember Oberon,
Move we adjourn to 5 PM, March 11th,
Second.
2025.
we are adjourned.
We had up all.
6:20.